Hello, and good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today I'm back again on my weekly, charts, weekly YouTube videos and Facebook and all that thing, still doing what I love the most, which is coaching. And today I'm just gonna really get into communication. So, I'm gonna get into different types of communication and mainly concentrating on interpersonal relationships and also a bit into the workplaces. So what I found out is communication actually holds one of the biggest keys we do have around. So what do I mean by that? You find that at times just communicating your needs to the next person does make such a huge difference. For example, if you are in a workplace and certain things are happening and you are not communicating the way you feel about it or your point of view, you might find that different people have got different views about life and they might not be able to understand you as a person, because always remember that all of us are different and all of us have got different needs. So if you don't communicate your needs as they should be, you find that people might not understand you and you won't be able to get your needs said across, which can be very frustrating for both ends, yourself and also for the person who's also involved. So in the personal relationships, what is communication in a relationship? It is whereby you actually get to, I find that get to be honest about your needs. At times it can be a bit scary because mostly in relationships you find that there is a part of you that still wants to be safe. Every human being wants to be safe. So what is safety in a relationship? You find that safety is whereby you can communicate your needs without the worry of either losing the relationship itself or without worrying about what can actually can happen after that. I found that if you're in a relationship whereby somebody continuously talks about what you've said before and they always refer to that and they don't let it go, it might be very difficult to actually communicate later on in the future. So which gets to that part to say, are you safe in communicating? Which also gets to us as well, like to any one of us who's listening to this, to go, are you providing a safe environment for you to be able to talk to your loved one or your workplace person with that safety to say this is okay and we can actually be able to have a conversation that is actually meaningful. I've sat in meetings where people sit there and each one of them is just bluffing away, and when everyone leaves they go like, oh, I can't believe they're like that, they're like this, but you have not managed to say it in that forum. So being able to say things truthfully means that somewhere along the way would have created a safe environment that can help us be able to talk about issues as they should be. So in a relationship, being able to actually step out of it without the fear that this person might not want me anymore simply because I have said the way I really feel about stuff. And also being able to know that at times people can have different points of view and there's nothing wrong with that. At any point you should be able to talk about different things and express your point of view, and it should be a discussion whereby you are safe. So you find that mostly if you sit down in a counseling session with couples and you can tell with communication that somewhere along the way something happened and an unsafe environment has been created and everyone is very cautious of what they say to each other or what they're going to say in the session, because either the other person is continuously referring back to, you always say this, you always say that, you always say this. So effectively, if you want to actually communicate your needs and to communicate with the other person, I find that being able to listen for that moment, being in that presence, in that exact time, exact moment, without you thinking, oh, in the past you said this, in the past you did this, and all those things. Just being present for that session, for that moment, and actually listen to what this person is trying to say. Take a few minutes, digest it, and actually say, okay, what are they trying to say? Or if you cannot understand what they're trying to say, at times it's actually very good to go, this is what I hear. Is this what you mean when you're saying this? At times I could perceive things differently. I could be seeing this pen as purple and somebody could be seeing it as blue. But then if this person says this is blue, I might need to ask, okay, fine. In your eyes, how do you view this? Is this blue or purple? Something that simple at times could actually clear things out, clarify things. I've found that in my relationship, at the moment, like, I've got a wonderful man who has taught me to communicate better. It was a bit glitchy because being a long distance relationship, it makes it really complicated because the only thing you have is communication. So this has taught me to be able to express the way, what I want, what I need, what I'm happy with, and what I'm not. Because in a real life, in a situation where this person is there all the time, they can see your body language. But if they're on the other side of the world, it means this mouth has to say what I want to express. So I found that being truthful to myself and being truthful to the other person really helped me a lot. It helped both of us in our relationship because by the end of the day, we managed to be in a position where we could truthfully at different points say the way we felt. And there is nothing as freeing as being able to talk about what you really feel to the other person, or how your point of view and everything else. So my message today is, for effective communication, ask yourself, does this feel safe? If it's feeling unsafe, just maybe go back again and ask yourself, what is it that I am scared of? Why am I not able to express the way I really feel? Or what else am I scared of that could actually be putting me in a situation where I might have to lie about stuff? I might have to twist the truth a bit around things. In there, that's when you find that maybe you could actually be not ready for that type of a relationship, or you could actually be rejecting something and you cannot be able to say it, or there's something you need desperately and your needs might not be met, but you are not sure on how to express them. So being able to express the needs is something that is also an important thing, which we could actually talk about in another session, on how can you be confident enough to express the way you really feel about stuff. That is very important, because if you don't have the confidence to express the way you feel, it actually comes in, it's a bit of a snowball effect. You can't express the way you feel, you get whatever it is that comes your way. In you, you're scared of actually expressing yourself, and then you're walking around in a world so dissatisfied that you don't know what is eating you every day, and thinking life is just full of, anything else you can think of. But the truth is, it is all up to you. It starts off with you. Communicate, express what you feel, and express it to a point whereby the other person knows that, okay, this is the way this person wants things to be done, and this is what they are hoping to get out of this. So if you don't express what you feel, people don't know what you want. People don't know what you're looking for. You express your needs the way they should be, and people will be able to follow you, and you'll be able to also know what people want from you. Expectations. People have got expectations, but I could be working in a world and nobody knows exactly what I'm looking for. So get out there, get your pen and paper. If you are in a relationship whereby you're finding that it's getting a bit glitchy, you are not managing to say things the way you would have loved them to be heard, write them down. I find that writing things down on paper actually helps me think things through first. So writing it down and putting it out there on paper to say, okay, when I text him 100 times, this is the way I'll be feeling. Or when I eventually call him 1,000,000 times, this is what I am afraid of. And then you actually get to ask yourself, is this real? Have I communicated the way I feel to him? And all those things. And remove the barriers of communication. At the moment, like, what are the barriers? Things like the mobile phones. Of course, the mobile phone is a major thing these days. It's actually something we use all the time and it's full of information. But if you're trying to have a conversation with your loved one or with your colleague at work, and if you've got another gadget or anything, or maybe the way you've got maybe the TVs in the background and you're watching TV, flicking through the channels, and you've got you're flicking through Facebook, or liking Instagram photos and all those things, you find that the other person feels that they are not getting enough attention. And the moment they don't get enough attention, what happens? Now you're going to be having a half-sided conversation where both of you are just, not respecting that ground. So at times it's not even worth having that conversation at all. So maybe just if you're really in a situation where you need to have a serious conversation, at times it's actually good to just remove those things for a little while, just 10 minutes, and say, okay, we need to talk about this. This is what we're talking about. And you put the phones down, you put anything, all the distractions away, so that you will be able to get most of the conversations with a clear mind and a clear direction on where you're headed to. So I do hope that you manage to get to that part where you know what you want, you express it to the next person, and they also understand where you're coming from. And it actually comes from one word: may we talk about this? I would like us to discuss this. And you find that so many issues out there are just based on not being able to talk about things. So please get out there, talk about stuff, and communicate. Communicate your needs, communicate your wants. Listen when somebody else is communicating, because that, most of the time, you find that it is a solution to most of the things that we find are a problem in our lives. So I hope I'll get to catch up with you next week, and please carry on, communicate, talk to your loved ones, talk to your kids, talk to your family members, talk to anybody, like, the workmates and all those. That's your life. That's what you need to do, because nobody else would know what you really want. So keep well and chat soon.